Abstinence. I loved the period of time when I was abstinent. I was abstaining from relations. The very first time that I purposely abstained was after my son's father passed away. My son is 20 years old, and his dad passed away when my son was 2.5 years old. So during that time, there was a lot going on. He died in a car accident, and so there was a lot of emotions. The fact that I was raising a child now without him, and of course I had a lot of help, but still, I was the only parent, and it was something that I made a conscious decision to do. And also during that time, I went back to school to obtain my master's degree, and so it was a perfect time for me to just zone in just to myself, to my feelings, my thoughts, my spirit, my spirituality, and what I wanted and what I didn't want. It really helped me to focus and to, really delve into who I was. Of course, when you're abstinent, you're not worried about STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, or sexually transmitted demons, because as you know, intimacy is a spiritual experience for most people. Some people can say, oh, it's not this, it's not that, it's just a transaction, but it's a spiritual experience for the most part. And you can develop feelings for someone, and then you can have that to deal with. But yeah, during abstinence, you don't have that to deal with. No diseases or demons. And it's really a freeing feeling to be able to say no without any condemnation, without any guilt or anything like that. You don't owe anyone anything. So of course, during abstinence, during that period of time, I'm getting to know myself better. I'm getting to know my likes, my dislikes. I'm having fun. I feel free. The freest I have probably ever felt has been when I have been abstinent. I can't explain it. That's just the way that it was. My second bout of abstinence was after my divorce. If you've been divorced, or if you're going through a divorce, you know that it feels just like a death. It literally feels like death. And so I took time. I took quite a while after I actually started dating again. It was over a year because we had to stay separated for a year. I wasn't dating anybody then. And then I waited another 6 months after the actual divorce to start dating. So I was dating, but I was not being intimate with anyone. I was abstinent for 6 years after I divorced. And it was the best 6 years of my life. If you want to ask, didn't I miss it? Did I long for it or anything like that? The answer is no. I wasn't someone who just had to have it, or I never was. So during those 6 years, I was in my 30s, and that was probably my best decade thus far. I really love my 30s, and I love the period of time I was abstinent because I continued to date, like I said. I got to know personalities. I interacted with different people. I wasn't really, hey, I have to have this, I have to have that during most of that dating period. So I was really getting to know different personalities, and I was being exposed to different things. And I really, really loved that. And I had no pressure to do anything. Of course, people, they try to pressure you, but, I just wasn't having it. And I was really firm on what I wanted and what I desired and what I was striving for. And that was to be a better me, not to continuously give myself to someone hoping to get something in return and not getting it, So I really worked on what it is that I wanted in a relationship, because I knew I wanted to be married again. I knew I wanted to have more children, and what I wanted to build with my life, and do with my life. And it was a really freeing time period of my life. And I had a lot of fun, y'all. I really, really did. I did what I wanted. I took myself on dates because I'm an introvert and I like doing things alone. So being abstinent was perfect for me. Now, during that time, I was in a couple relationships, and I told them from the beginning, I am abstinent. I have no desire, no intentions to go into anything sexual. And I let them know that up front, and they were okay with it. So with one in particular, he continued to try to push the issue, and he would do and say things that made me uncomfortable sometimes, and I eventually ended that relationship because he knew from the beginning where I stood, and I stood firm on that I knew what I wanted and what I didn't want, and I wasn't going to let anybody talk me into or coerce me into doing anything that I didn't want to do that wasn't going to be beneficial to me, because I knew that a solid, firm relationship and marriage was eventually what I wanted. And eventually that's what I got. But yeah, that was my 2 bouts with abstinence, a total of 8 years out of my life after I actually became active. 8 years I spent purposely non-active. And they were beautiful years, beautiful, insightful years that I spent loving on myself. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. Thank you.